journey starts. Headed off for old Calgary. Going to compete up at Spruce Meadows, the World Championships, put on by the World Championship Blacksmiths. So this will be the week where they crown a new world champ. See you there. There's our steed, our bird, headed up in the sky. Shoo-wee! Rolling in. So is the actual like event grounds, is that over this way then? Or is it over there?
Oh, there's like
where they do like the
15 rings. So there's a warm-up ring right here, and there's all the main grass ring will be, it's a bit of a walk down here to the right. We'll just park here by the shop, and then that's where the semi rig and all is there.
Very cool. Got a whole damn shoeing shop up in here.
Oh, and the windows open up. You want me to open the windows for you?
It's pretty cool stuff. Walking up here for the first time. Got the whole rig set up. What's going on, man? Go in and get checked in. So day one starts off with, get a little bit of practice time. They do it from like 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock. So you get registered, go in, get your goodie bags, sign up, and they open up all the anvils and forges so you can get a little practice time, get rid of some of that lactic acid built up from flying. So I just jumped in an anvil here with Chris Madrid and Bodie Turnka, made a shoe, and then we're going to kick off into the tour.
I just wanted tonight, we're going to do a tour, we're going to do our group photo, we're going to go into our international ring, and Ron Heathcott will be here right away and he'll do the tour for us. And then afterwards, we're going to come back and you're going to do your rules meeting, correct? And we have a barbecue for you guys.
For just like warm-up space, because for the competing horses that are working right now, they're not allowed to be competing, warming up, or doing anything anywhere that an official can't see them. So as you can see, there's no official in here, so they can't be practicing in here right now. But if they organize for an official to be in here, let's say it's a really rainy day, one of the officials comes in to watch over this space, then the riders can have at it. This sand and the Equiplex, where the vendors are, basically we just put a wood layer, a little base layer on top of this.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the busyness of the week, we actually have a second garden space off property so that they can go and they don't have to be stressed out that 1,000 other horses plus 1 million people are walking around the grounds any given day.
Walking through on the tour.
Those behind us, those are the first 3 buildings we built here on the grounds. Every single tree that you see, we planted or built, and the roads we built, and because this was just a cattle feedlot, like it was a dirt road onto an old farmhouse property, like there was nothing here. From the pub, you can actually see the old red barn.
Hello, does anybody need to make a call? No, got these in America. Only seen those once in England. There's the old group. Yeah, he was gonna have a good roll at it this year for sure. Oh.
Is the international ring, and so this is our premier competition space. All of our big classes are going to be jumped out here. Got the Grand Prix on Sunday and the Nations Cup on Saturday. If you want to see what those events.
These things are a lot bigger when you're standing right next to them than looking at them from up above. It's like that's the top of it. Getting up there. Easy gonna get me.
An FEI competition or an international competition.
Meter 45.
It's not totally true because, but that's for our 5-star competition. That's as low as it gets. We've got a couple of different types of jumps.
All right. First and foremost, I would like to thank everybody for coming. I know in today's world, after COVID, it just seems like they took the fun out of traveling. So once you get to someplace, it's really remarkable to be there, but just the traveling part kind of is a pain in the butt. We really, really, really appreciate it. And then I can't thank Linda and Charlie and Tom and the whole Heathcott family for hooking us up with being here and having a great venue and revitalizing the World Championship. And then thirdly, I'd like to thank Mick Saunders and Michael Kukkonen. Mick's been shoeing for 22 years. Michael's been shoeing. I'm going to go Mick and Michael because that way you know who I'm talking about. But been shoeing for 24 years. And I think that they're right in the thick of it and doing a lot of good stuff. And I think that they're going to do a good job. That's why I picked them, is because it's like they really, really believe they're ambassadors for our trade. They do good stuff all around the world. So give it up for them. It's going to be tomorrow, and we're going to have one on the foot, which is an Omni-Directional shoe, and then we have the Stamp Barshoe. They'll be judged separate. One will be judged on the table, and then you'll get the usual set of marks on the horse. Those will be given. So it's not if you get done with you have to get done with both to be judged, but one will not influence the other. You get scored on the horse or you get scored on the bar shoe. Does that make sense to everybody? This is time for that class. Does anybody have any questions for the judges on that particular class? Fit what you trim.
Michael, we're talking, just you have to fit what you trim and don't overshoot it. Make an appropriate section. Just because you start with inch, it doesn't have to finish inch or 3/8 or whatever you start with. So don't overcrowd the foot and shoe it. It's just everyday shoeing, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Center of stock, good basics.
Do you want nail holes in flat section, or do you want the safing to come deeper into section than that?
In the flat.
Yeah. In the flat. So nail holes. Do you want the nail holes on the flat or in the bevel aspect of the shoe? And they said flat, right?
I think you get a better nail fit like that.
You'll get a better nail fit, but is that a prerequisite? So I think that if you get overzealous with your safing, you're gonna be in the bevel. I mean, in the safing, and if you go real steep, you'll be in the flat. But you're gonna have different feet are gonna have different applications.
Yeah.
I think you would like to have a line, right?
Yeah,
That's what I'd like to see, as a line in your forging and everything intentional and made well, and make a shoe that's going to be easy to fit. So like your huge toe is hard to fit then things, isn't it? Because you can't get your toe tight enough. Just make a nice, it's a PlainStamp shoe with the edge knocked off. Isn't it? Put a Vaseline clip, like you turn it over, it's just a PlainStamp shoe that's got to fit a bit more, so you're making it for. It's not that complicated, is it? We've come up with a plan from the Tongs. We're going to judge from the program outlines that they have to hold 3/8. They have to articulate. You've got a length measurement because there's a specimen there. So then the first three things we're going to look at, and then we're going to go from the jaw back to strength, forging like the specimen. So, but yeah, we will take grains into account if we end up with a couple of tongs in the top we can't separate. So that's what we spoke about. Just strong tongs with no weak points.
So like,
Because yeah, and make the right pair of tongs. If you make the wrong side of tongs, it's like making the wrong side shoes, so they'll get at the bottom.
all right, on Friday we have the square-toed Masalot hindfoot on the horse and the Morgan shoe as a specimen. So do we have any questions about that? We've talked about it. In the program, I wanted some starting part, and I didn't want people to think that they could just put that toe wherever they wanted to, because you could just make the prettiest shaped toe and then slide it back to wherever you wanted. So I said, realistically, a quarter of the hoof wall, and I think that the judges both agree that they want to have the hoof wall. They don't want to see any white line or sole. You definitely want to have it touching the hoof wall. And you know, in the toe. You know, if you come way underneath, then they're going to go off in the corner and have one of those discussions on whether to disqualify you or not. I mean, if you come underneath the foot that far. Yeah, they probably won't let you put it on. So to answer your question, that's going to come on how much you feel like you can enhance the foot or not. I mean, like, then after, what we will be doing, and I haven't mentioned this yet, we will have, someone will be marking the feet. They're going to mark the feet. After the hoof prep, mark the feet, and then that has to stay on there until after your shoe fit. Then you can do whatever you want. You want to clean that up, but they would just want to have the toe of the shoe rounded up in your clinching, just to make it safe. You don't want to have a square, sharp corner. Saturday, the go-rounds make a huge difference if we post the go-rounds now, because people, I mean, when people find out what the shoes are, then people who are local have blacksmith shops at their access. It just seems like they go when they practice, and we don't want to do that. We don't want people going off. We want everybody to make the two shoes that are picked off the cuff. And the way that we figured that we could make that the most fair is on Saturday morning, we will say what the shoes are a half an hour before the go. We will announce the first go, and then 10 minutes before that previous go is up, we will announce who's in the next go. And obviously, if you haven't gone in 6 rounds, then you're probably in the last round. Then the top 10 will shoe, and again, I don't know if we put this in there, but there's absolutely no strikers unless the Tool and Fuller class is that, but we already told you the Tool and Fuller shoe is not in there, so there's no strikers on the Saturday go. It's an individual class. On Sunday, the top 10 will shoe the front feet. They'll redo the points, take us a little while, and then the top 5 will have a shot for world champion.
Got the Barshoe, the Morgan, Swiss in the pool. Concave is in the pool of shoes as well. Got the bevel in the pool. It's a pretty sweet shoe, really. The medial heel is pretty sick. It's the PlainStamp. It's pretty thin. Old French caulk and wedge. This thing's got the inner lateral heel caulk on her. Wide toe. Medial clip is basically right there at the front. Lateral is right off the toe some. Then we got the speed shoe. This is 20 minutes out of 1.25 inches. Build this in 20 minutes, you get a striker. It's got the feather. Dang bees. Fighting for our lives out here. Fighting for our lives from these damn bees. It's got the big old feather on it. Nice caulk. God damn. And the beautiful tongs. Wonder who made the tongs.
Good morning, everyone. I thought we were warning people here at Spruce Meadows. I couldn't believe the beehive activity going on here 2 hours ago, but it's with a great deal of pleasure on behalf of the Spruce Meadows Organizing Committee. I welcome you all back for what has become a great yet not very long tradition here at the Spruce Meadows Masters as we welcome competitors from 16 countries and some more than 60 blacksmiths, farriers here to participate in this great championship, all through the vision and mind of Craig, who has brought it all together, working, of course, with our President and Chief Executive Officer, Linda Southern-Heathcote. And before we get under the way with the fresh smell of burning coke in the air this morning, I will turn the microphone over to Linda Southern-Heathcote.
Thank you very much, Ian. Well, welcome. We like at Spruce Meadows our traditions, and so it's important for us to open the Blacksmith World Championship. And a horse's health starts with its feet. And so it's wonderful that we have 16 nations competing and showing their training. Craig, I really appreciate all that you and your team have done to bring them here. I love the fact, thank you so much to the band of the Household Cavalry for joining us this morning. And I heard your concert was fantastic yesterday, so thank you so much. And we have our Lord Strathcona Horse Royal Canadians, our King's Troop, and our Lord Strathcona, Lord Strathcona's King's Troop and Household Cavalry. It's a tradition that we've had for a number of years here at Spruce Meadows, but everything at Spruce Meadows revolves around the horse. And the horse is the most important part, even though we have a number of different things that we do, whether it's the dog races or different demonstrations. The horse is the heartbeat of Spruce Meadows, and it's the heartbeat of our athletes, as well as, and what's been so special about the horse over the years, Ian has an Irish friend, and he says the horse is the only animal that can get you into the White House, the Vatican, and a pub. And so we all cherish the horse. Craig, we're so pleased that you continue to support Spruce Meadows and with this exciting event. And on behalf of my team at Spruce Meadows, I wish all of you the very best of luck and great competition. And if you'll join me, Craig, we'll cut the ribbon and declare our Blacksmith World Championships at Spruce Meadows open.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Craig. And another ribbon cutting aptly performed in front of our wonderful piece of art from the World Friendship Days, featuring two some famous horses around the world. Let the games begin.
About to kick day one off. First goes here, going off. So Carl's in the first round, and a couple other guys. So fixing to get her going. Round one, we got Carl Via on Anvil 5. Go to Anvil 4. We got Paul Skaggs from the USA as well. And then Anvil 3, Johan Sandsten from Sweden. And then Riley Poole on Anvil 2 from Canada. And then Anvil 1, we got Vincent Lemille from Belgium. On the other side of the trailer, we got Alex Collier from England. And we go over to
How are ya?
Joel Stewart from Australia.
Australia.
And there is a good possibility I may butcher some names. Next, we got Alan Guthier from France. And then an empty anvil, and this guy's from Italy, Gio Galivi. I'm not sure.
So before the go starts, you're allowed to pull the shoe, clean it out, and basically get the foot ready to start trimming. You're not allowed to take any foot off before the go starts. So here Carl's going to pull off his shoe and then pick it out and clean it up and get it ready for his go.
So here Carl's pulling off his shoe, and then now he's using his knife and he's actually picking it out and getting debris clear, so that way his foot's fresh and ready to go.
Nice and dry. So they're going to start off with this side here first. They'll start, and then 15 minutes later, the other side of the trailer will end up going. So they're on a staggered start, 15 minutes each time. It kind of spaces up the judges so they can get in there and get everything judged and not have 10 all call for trim right at the same time or what have you.
So before each round starts, you can have the judges come by and help gather your game plan together for your go on what they would like to see, on how much foot they would like to be trimmed off, and figure out basically what would be acceptable. So here they're kind of going back and forth, and I think what he's trying to figure out is, do you want me to take this much flare off this lateral side, or do you want me to dress this toe back this much? So I think that's kind of what they're deliberating on back and forth.
5, 4, 3, 2, begin. All right, we've got several different countries represented on this side of the tent on the pony, which everybody was hoping they got the pony, and Vincent got the pony. Vincent Lemille from Belgium.
So class 1, you got to make the Omni-Directional shoe that goes on the foot, and then the specimen shoe is the PlainStamp Barshoe with a master leg clip.
So as class 1 gets underway, you can see guys there at the anvil putting the bump in the first for the clip on the bar shoe or the foot. So Carl's coming in here, he's picking up his foot, he's going to sight it, he's checking it for trim. So he's already laid down some groundwork on his trim, went up, bumped his steel a little bit, now he's coming back, get a fresh set of eyes back on the foot, check it for flat, just kind of go back in and do some more knife work. You know, you're just kind of roughing it out right away because you only got so much time in this class, so you got to hustle through your trim so that way you get your shoes made and get ready. So now he's just trying to do good knife work. Then we come down to Anvil 1 with Vincent Lemille from Belgium. He's top dressing his foot. So one thing about Calgary this year is there's no sanding systems on the foot. So everything you do has to be done with a rasp. So there's no super like shiny finishing. So it just shows your skill and intent. So now you can see Vincent, he's actually working on the shoe for the foot. So he's putting in the bevel for the Omni-Directional, and the thing that's pointing out there, that's actually going to be the masterlet clip. So he's just kind of finishing up with his heat to put in a nice line there for where his Omni-Directional is going to start and bend.
The judges have just come in and scored his trim, and then something they're doing is to make sure you don't rasp on the foot after you fit it up, is they're taking a pencil mark or a pen, scribbling on the dorsal walls of the foot, so that way it dictates whether or not you have rasp on that foot after the fact fit. So you got to show intention.
So now Vincent's starting in with the bar shoe. He's turning up material for his bar. And the thing that's different about Calgary versus a regular WCB is that bar shoe is class 2, and that is worth just as much points as it is for the shoe that's on the foot. So that horse that you're shoeing today, that's worth just as much points as it is that bar shoe. So you got to put a big emphasis on both.
Now since round 1 has already started, they got the 15-minute stagger. So here in about a minute, they're going to be starting off the other side of the trailer for the next round. So all 10 competitors will be going.
20 seconds, that means you guys are coming up on the 15 minutes is gone. You want to have a quarter of your work already done then. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. All right. We have a 15-minute stagger so the judges don't bottleneck at the end of the class. They get reasonably 5 horses judged
That fella's from
without
Australia, Joel Stewart.
really hindering the progress of the farrier. They will be judged. This side, they're getting their hoof preps done. on 1 through 5. They're judged on a score of 1 to 10 on their hook prep, meaning.
So we got the second part of round 1 going off with Alex Collier going in to trim his foot. And he's got the really wide file, so he's just trying to get his foot flat. You can kind of see he's just trying to get the heels down into the points. Now he's going to sight his limb and the foot to try and make sure that he's flat. So now he's going back in. I notice he's got 2 different files here, so I'm kind of wondering on what the difference is. Like this one's got the handle, but they're still looking the same kind of file. So that foot looks like it's like got to be slightly toed in, so he's just trying to make sure that he gets nice and flat. So he's gonna sight it again, make sure it's flat. And who knows what he just said there, but I believe he just called in George to come have a look at his trim and see what he needs to do, and then George is over there getting his steel ready to be bumped up. Usually by this time in the class, you can see a bunch of guys are at the anvil getting their Massillate clips bumped up. Means that they're probably pretty much done with their trimming. Now it's going to time to be shoemaking and getting ready for the foot. And as we walk around to the other side of the anvil where the first group is, they're starting to burn on their shoes and check and make sure that they fit. So you got to get that clip burned in there first and foremost, and try to make sure she fits. And still on the first round here, Carl Via getting the shoe rasped up. Now he's got his half-round file, and he's just kind of cleaning up the inner rim, try to get rid of some frog eyes. You can see he's got a line there distinguished on the outside there for where his omnidirectional bevel is. All of this probably looks like chaos going on underneath the tent, but Carl right here is just checking his shoe one last time before he hands it into the judge. And you can see behind him, Paul Skaggs handed off his shoe to Michael Kukkonen to have his shoe scored and judged by the judge there for how good it fits. So there's 8 minutes left. Carl's just going to do a little bit of flashing there, boxing. And now Michael is coming in to judge Carl's fit on the foot. So this, as discussed before, it's a 4-part way of judging. So they judge your trim, shoe fit, shoe, and then finish. Now there's only 9 seconds left of the class, and this is the scramble to finish time.
Time's up. Time's up.
That's the end of round 1.
So I actually was in round 2, and this was the horse I drew. I drew the right front, and this was kind of a oh crap moment. I seen this foot, it was all busted up, upright. So now me and Carl, we're just kind of going over like what I want to do to the foot and how my plan of attack is going to be. So mostly it's just going to be knock down those heels, gather up the toe some. So now the round is started. I'm going to start off by trimming my foot. So go in firstly, trim up my frog, kind of get my landmarks on like how much depth that foot has. So, you know, I can't really do too much knife work without, you know, throughout my foot because there's not much foot there. So got to be intentional with what you have to manage and make it more eye appealing. So you can do good knife work with the frog, you know, show intention, have some sex appeal, and just kind of keep moving forward. So as we talked with the judges, he just wanted me to clean up a little bit. There was some sole pressure there going on, so now I'm just going to come in like right before the bars, try to enhance my bars some. And it's kind of tough because when the foot is like halfway dry but halfway wet and moist, it just wants to flake out. So now I'm just going to get a little top dress going on here. That outside heel buttress is just hooked around, so I'm trying to put a little bit of flow into it. And that foot had a little bit of dish, so trying to bring back that toe as well. Just like that, we already got to the point where I've got my shoe made going in for my first burn. And we can see I'm tight laterally there, and Carl's telling me that's got to be opened up, stretched a little bit. Just going in to check on my inside. And I was kind of nervous at this point. I was like, oh boy, hopefully my shoe's all good. But thankfully with Carl, he got me lined out really well. So now I'm just checking cold fit real quick just to make sure that we're in the hunt. Now, handed it off for Mick Saunders here to have him judge the fit. And from what I could tell on the notes, they didn't hate it, they didn't love it, but it did all right. And I can't be too unhappy with that for being my first time competing at Calgary. Now Michael's gonna judge it. And this was the scary part too, was nailing. I was like, there ain't much foot there. Just get it nailed up good and don't stick them. I think I used, that was an E6, and I cut 13 3/4 inches of 1/2 for this foot here. And as per stated in the rules, you were either to use 1/2 by 3/4 or 1/2 inch by 1 inch section of steel for the Omni-Directional class. Now we'll just get our nails clinched up, or clinch blocked I should say. Bada bing, bada boom. Quick little clinching job. I was actually kind of happy because I was clinching up. I believe there was 5 minutes left right now. So now I'm going to go back, finish rasping up my Barshoe real quick. There was some frog eyes in there I needed to get rid of, and it's fairly content. I believe my Barshoe placed 11th. So now Carl's just going to get in, finish brushing it up, and holy Toledo. First class, out of the way, Calgary Spruce Meadows. Here's kind of the end job. Not the prettiest on top since we weren't allowed to use any sanding systems. And I just made sure, I just did what I've been practicing. That's the way I was practicing. I didn't put any nails in the flat. I didn't want to change it up too much on the day. That's where things can go awry. Now here, Mick, he's judging the finish score. And that's just part of 10 points, aside from your trim, shoe, nail fit. Mick scoring on some other feet that were done in this round, and some pretty good jobs got done today. So a huge undertaking that you don't really realize, that with 65 different competitors and they're all doing a shoeing round, so that means they got to be at least 37 horses be brought in. So pretty cool for Spruce Meadows to be able to have that amount of horses to be brought in and shod all in one day. You know, each foot here in the front half was shod by one competitor, and then in another round later on, the hind feet get shod with the French hinds, the square toes. So this is the first round of horses being led out back to their little homes. There's the horse I did, the old right front. At least he's not gimping off lame. Happy about that. So there goes the first group of horses. They're going to go grab another set, and round 3 will be starting off.
5, 4, 3, 2, begin. All right, we've got 1 hour. This is go round number 3.
Go round 3 starting. So here on Anvil 5, we got my friend Troy Wood starting in. He's going to start by trimming up his foot. He's going to first start off trimming up the frog. Get that frog cleaned up. He's kind of got a nice dry little foot, but they had a little bit of moisture, so the feet flaked off really good. So he's going to get sulcus. First thing he's going to attack right there is getting his bars cleaned up. So just defining the bars. And down here, Anvil number 1. I'm not really quite sure who this was, but you can see he's from France. So he's getting his foot flat, just tacking the heels, toe. Now he's going to give himself a top dress. Now, I recognize who this is. This is Bodie Turnka. He's knifing out his foot. And then he's got Chris Madrid striking for him, and I believe he's on Anvil number 6 of the 3rd round. And his foot looks pretty dry and hard. He's just trying to get it all knifed out. I believe this is David Ibanez from Spain. And these guys, they are foot trimming son of guns. They got their feet really nice and flat. It was really cool to see. And he's got Sergio Perez striking for him. And this horse here, this is Tony the Pony. I believe his name was Coconut. I did him in a later round. I had the French hind day. So now he's tightening out his foot flat, checking it out. They are 4 minutes. 2 things you can take for size notes here. Look at the size of this horse and that horse. And you can see the 2 different heights of people. Like Bodie, he's really tall. And then David, he's a little bit shorter like me. And you can just kind of see like 2 different ways on how farriers are bent over. You wonder how hard is it for a tall guy to bend over and shoe horses? Well, just look at his stance and how he's holding that foot. One thing I know for sure is I'm glad I didn't have to shoe one of those cob horses. Those things had enough size to them that they're like something we would see when we would go to the Horseshoeing Classic and shoe like on Roadster Day. So here on the first anvil number 10, we got Daniel Jones striking for Sawyer Spradling, and those guys are actually on the American Farriers team, and Daniel's just kind of going over with Sawyer like what he sees and what he needs to address in his trim. And you can see that's a pretty hard foot to shoe. Like, one, it's big, and two, it's busted up, missing a lot of foot. So you got to shoe all the way out and around it, and don't take too much, you know. Show intent, and you're trying to enhance that foot. So now Sawyer's coming in, he's got his shoe built, and he's going in to fit it up. Daniel's pushing in with the rasp because he's trying to make sure that he gets that clip burned in all the way so it's flush with the hoof wall, fit in. Sawyer's going to knife away some of the toe, so that way he gets a flush clip fit, because you can't burn that foot too much, otherwise it's already too short, so you're going to make it even shorter if you keep burning away. So knife it out. That's kind of cool. Daniel's grabbing his apron so we can, you know, use opposite forces just to help push and not push Sawyer over. So now, just trying to make sure he gets that shoe fit just right.
So what the judges are doing there, they take a pen and they write on there, so that after it's been scored for your trim, to judge whether or not they're not rasping off a bunch of hoof wall after it's been fit up. So that way they know you showing tension and have fitted and not hogged away foot after the fact.
So he's got his shoe all polished and shined up. Now he's going back in for his final burn. Make sure that it fits just the way that he wants it before he turns it in. So we rasped it all the way up, got it shiny, stuck it back in. Final burn happening right now. Look how nice and shiny that sucker is. Looks pretty damn good, I'd say. Now Mick Saunders is coming in to judge Troy's fit and the shoe. So that's one aspect. And I don't know if people take this into account when they're practicing, but you have to account for the time that it takes for the judges to score your shoe and fit and trim along the way throughout your goes. So there might be a backlog and you might be third in line to get your shoe judged. So now Troy's kind of under the gun because he was like third in line, and now he's only got 2 minutes to get nailed up and clinched up all in a matter of 2 minutes. So now he's clinching up, he's rasping underneath with 20 seconds left, I believe, right now. So Toby Pedley brushing on Matt Argo's shoe. Now he's just getting clinched, like 5 seconds left. Holy cow. Not much time. There's the Barshoe Troy had made. Peter Head, he was from Australia. And then next to him in the anvil in front, Matt Argo, he's from England. And Toby Pedley, he's from England as well. And there's his Barshoe, looking good. I'm not sure who this fella was, or this fella either. And then Tom Willoughby coming in to pick up the shoes. Next here we have Ian Ritchie from Canada, and this here is actually probably one of my favorite jobs done throughout the day. Just for the fact that this foot here was busted up a lot, missing a lot of foot. Like you can see right there from the toe to the heel quarter, there's nothing there. And so Ian did a really good job of sculpting up his trim, making that look really nice. Now here we have Matt Findler with his dad, James Findler, striking for him. And they're both actually from Canada, and Matt now lives in Texas. And pretty sweet to have a father-son combo out there, working together and helping Matt go through the World Championships. Now Ian's got his shoe made up, and you can kind of see his toenails are placed way up there, and the last two nails, they're way back there. That's what kind of, I thought, made this job unique, and what was kind of cool. He pulled it forward here just because that foot's deceiving, with missing all that foot there. It's hard to know where exactly it is laying on there. So the way that he's got it placed right now on the hoof stand, he can see exactly where that shoe is in relation to the foot, and it's going to give you a full story. So here it is, all finished up. Sawyer's on the left, here's Ian's on the right. And you can see he didn't rasp away any of that marker there on the outside or on the inside, and he fit what he trimmed. So now he's going to pick it up for me there in the end and just kind of show it off. It's pretty sweet. And then Levi and Christine Turnka going by and taking pictures of all the feet. Chris Madrid coming in. He's finishing up his trim, giving the old good wire brush. Put a little spin on it, make it look clean. There's Stephen Bean. He's a 5-time world champ competing next to him. And he's getting his shoe going, bumping up, I believe, is the Massillay for the shoe on the foot.
And 30 seconds.
Running his Omni in the block.
So we got 51 minutes and 48 seconds. On animal number 4 from England, we have 5-time world champion. Only world champion that's competing this year is Mr. Stephen. Animal number 5, we've got Mr. Chris Madrid from the USA.
Now we're getting to the point in the class where Stephen Bean has his shoe pretty well roughed out in the sense of he's got one branch done, got his nails punched in there. Now he's going to come in with his pritchel them out. And then he's actually got Matt Argo striking for him. And Matt Argo, he won striker of the World Championships, which is pretty cool. So next to him, he's got Johan Eriksson from Sweden. Now he's going to rough out his Barshoe. And there's Chad Lawson from Canada. Thought it was kind of cool how he lined out where he wanted to place his nails. He set up some calipers and just scribed a line so that way they're all consistent and they don't get wolfy on them. Whether they go fine or coarse, they're all going to be right in the general area where you need them. So as pointed out earlier by what Craig had said, Stephen Bean is actually the only world champion that was competing under the tent this year at Calgary. Stephen had won the World Championship 5 times when it was previously held at the fairgrounds for the Calgary Stampede. And since it's relatively new, being brought back to Spruce Meadows, this is the 2nd year running. So he's actually trying hard to, obtain another world championship. And here he's running out the medial branch of his shoe. And then Jesper, he's working on his Barshoe. And they're just trying to make progress.
All right, we're coming up on 6 minutes. 6 minutes. We're coming up on 4 minutes. All right, here we come up on 3 minutes. 3 minutes. We're coming up on 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 3 minutes.
Say the Swiss do things a little different than what we're accustomed to here in the United States. They just sit down and have somebody hold the foot for them. They just get in a groove, and he's just like he's done this thing a time or two before. All he's missing is a cup of coffee just sitting right there.
Hey, good job yesterday winning the shoeing round, man. All the bar shoes from yesterday.